Rachael Ray has built a career out of honesty and relatability. She is the woman who made cooking less intimidating, who made millions believe they too could create something beautiful in 30 minutes or less. But behind the cheerful smile and the empire she created lies a story that many fans never fully understood. Her marriage to John Cusimano, the man who has stood beside her for nearly 2 decades, has been marked not only by loyalty and support, but also by controversy, rumors, and unsettling truths that have left the public divided. And now, the details of that relationship are finally coming to light, painting a picture far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. Early beginnings and a fateful meeting. Rachael Ray was born on August 25, 1968, in Glens Falls, New York, to Elsa Providenza Scuderi and James Claude Ray. Growing up in Lake George, she was shaped by a Sicilian mother who ran restaurants and a father with French, Scottish, and Welsh roots. Her childhood was steeped in the chaos of food service, and by the time she was a teenager, she was already working at Sutton's Marketplace in Queensbury. There, she not only stocked shelves and sold baked goods like cider donuts and raisin bread, but also took her first steps toward performance by appearing in commercials for the store. After graduating from Lake George High School, Rachael made her first attempt at the big city dream. In 1995, she was working the candy counter at Macy's in New York City. But when the company tried to pile on responsibilities she had never agreed to, she walked away. She soon found herself working at Agata and Valentina, a specialty food store, before returning home to Lake George. That decision would alter the course of her life. In 1996, she began managing a restaurant at the Sagamore Hotel and soon moved on to Cowan and Lobel, a gourmet market in Albany. It was there that she started teaching a class she called 30-Minute Meals. Her ability to make food approachable caught the attention of a local CBS affiliate, WRGB, which invited her to host a weekly segment. Within a few years, her first cookbook was published, and by 2001, the Food Network had signed her. By the early 2000s, Rachael Ray was becoming a household name. Her shows like $40 a Day and later 30-Minute Meals transformed her into one of the most recognizable figures in American television. But it wasn't just her career that was changing. Her personal life was about to take a turn that no one expected. In 2001, at a birthday party hosted by a mutual friend, she met John M. Cusimano. The party was filled with tall people, as John often jokes, and in that sea of knees, the two of them noticed each other. They began talking, naturally drifting toward the topic Rachael loved most: food. John mentioned a meal he had cooked, and Rachael immediately assumed he was gay. She even considered setting him up with another Italian friend. But when he corrected her, they stayed up talking until 4 a.m., and from that night onward, they spoke every single day. For Rachael, who had nearly given up on the idea of marriage, John was an unexpected twist of fate. For John, she was the partner who would change the trajectory of his entire life, rise to fame and marriage in Tuscany. By the time the early 2000s rolled around, Rachael Ray's career had taken off at an astonishing pace. After signing with Food Network in 2001, she launched $40 a Day, which ran from 2002 until 2005. The concept was simple but brilliant. Rachael would travel to different cities and try to enjoy 3 meals a day within a budget of just $40. For many viewers, it was the first time they saw her unfiltered enthusiasm for food and culture, and the show cemented her identity as a relatable guide for everyday people. As her fame grew, her personal life blossomed too. In 2001, she had met John Cusimano, a man whose life story could not have been more different, yet somehow made him her perfect counterpart. John, born in August 1967, had been passionate about music since childhood. He was talented enough to be accepted into the prestigious Berklee College of Music, but followed his parents' cautious advice and pursued law instead. After graduating, he became an entertainment lawyer in New York City, working primarily in film. Yet despite the practical career path, his love of music never left him. He eventually became the frontman for the rock band The Cringe, where he played guitar and sang, balancing his creative side with the discipline of his legal background. For Rachael, John's mixture of artistry and pragmatism was refreshing. He wasn't just a musician chasing a dream, he also had the legal mind to help navigate the complicated world of contracts and licensing. Later, Rachael would openly admit that, "The smartest thing I ever did was marry an entertainment lawyer, saved me a bundle." That blend of passion and practicality would become a cornerstone of their relationship. In September 2005, 4 years after their fateful meeting, the couple tied the knot at Castello di Vallona, a Tuscan castle in Italy. The wedding was intimate yet elegant, attended by family and close friends, and marked the beginning of what would become nearly 2 decades of marriage. Tuscany would remain a sacred place for them. A decade later, in 2015, they returned to the same castle to renew their vows, accompanied by 100 loved ones. Rachael marked the occasion by reciting a poem titled "All the Whiskey in Heaven," telling John, "Under any circumstance, I would still choose you, and I would still be with you, and I love you more than all the whiskey in heaven." On the surface, it seemed like a fairy tale. Rachael was now not only a Food Network star, but also a daytime television host, with The Rachael Ray Show premiering in 2006. Meanwhile, John continued performing with The Cringe, while gradually taking on a larger role in managing his wife's growing empire. Yet even as the couple presented a picture of unity, shadows began to gather. Fame had made Rachael a target, and by extension, John became a subject of tabloid speculation. Soon, rumors of infidelity and scandal would begin to overshadow the image of domestic bliss. Scandals, backlash, and cheating rumors. No marriage in the public eye is immune to scrutiny, and for Rachael Ray and John Cusimano, the whispers began almost immediately after their wedding in 2005. While Rachael was at the peak of her career, with Food Network expanding her presence and her daytime talk show just beginning, tabloids began publishing stories that threatened to undermine the image of her perfect relationship. The earliest rumors suggested that John was unfaithful, with some outlets even claiming he had been involved with sex workers. For a couple still basking in newlywed joy, the stories were deeply damaging. On The Rachael Ray Show, she addressed the gossip directly, telling her audience, "Everybody gossips, but this stuff is hurting people's feelings who are in our families and friends of ours. They worry about us." She urged fans not to buy into tabloid lies, but the shadow had already been cast. Then came 2013, when the National Enquirer ran a story alleging that John had been spotted frequenting a swingers club in New York multiple times without his wife. According to the report, he had been seen there at least 6 times. The accusations were explosive and humiliating, threatening to undo nearly a decade of marriage in the public eye. Rachael's team quickly issued a statement denying the story, calling it "another pack of lies" from the tabloid. John himself was reportedly preparing to sue the magazine. Yet even with firm denials, the gossip lingered. The damage wasn't just external. Rachael and John's marriage was far from traditional, and the couple has been open about their fiery arguments. In her 2024 podcast, "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead," Rachael admitted that she and John have never had a single moment of peace and often erupt into screaming matches. She insisted that their dynamic is healthy, but to outsiders, the confession only added fuel to the rumors of marital instability. Despite the controversy, they carried on. In 2015, they renewed their vows at their beloved Tuscan castle, publicly reaffirming their love before family and friends. Rachael silenced critics by reading "All the Whiskey in Heaven," a poem that underscored her commitment to John. Still, the fact remained that trust issues and rumors had left scars on how the public viewed their relationship. For some, they were a passionate couple who weathered storms together. For others, they embodied the tragic cost of fame. two people forced to defend their love against relentless speculation. As the years went by, it wasn't just their marriage under fire. Rachael herself faced mounting criticism from peers, fans, and even fellow chefs. And once again, John was right beside her, in the crosshairs of every storm. Backlash, criticism, and John's role in Rachael's career. By the mid-2000s, Rachael Ray had become one of the most polarizing figures in the culinary world. Her empire stretched from Food Network shows to cookbooks, magazines, and even a line of pet food. But with success came resentment. Critics attacked her 30-minute meals concept, pointing out that the promised time frame didn't include prep work. Others mocked her catchphrases like EVOO for extra virgin olive oil, while celebrity chefs such as Anthony Bourdain, Martha Stewart, and Giada De Laurentiis took public shots at her credibility. Stewart once dismissed her inability to bake, while Bourdain accused her of dumbing down food culture. In 2012, the New York Times even published a piece alleging that she didn't write her own cookbooks, sparking outrage among fans who had purchased more than 20 titles under her name. Though Rachael defended herself, admitting she had help with organization but insisting the recipes were her own, the revelation left a permanent dent in her reputation. The backlash intensified after she stood by her friend Mario Batali during his sexual misconduct scandal in 2017, publicly declaring that he had always treated her fairly. Many fans saw this as tone-deaf, further souring her image. Yet, throughout these storms, John Cusimano was not only her husband, but also her secret weapon. He shifted from his law career to dedicate himself full-time to her growing empire. As an entertainment lawyer, he helped negotiate licensing deals, brand partnerships, and media contracts, saving her millions. Behind the scenes, he became her business partner, ensuring that her brand expanded while protecting her from exploitative deals that have ruined other television personalities. But John was more than a lawyer. His band, The Cringe, gave him his own creative outlet, while at home he carved a role as Rachael's personal mixologist. While she handled the meals, he was in charge of cocktails, creating recipes that even made it onto The Rachael Ray Show, such as his Negroni, Rosé Champagne Spritzer, and his signature Lost in the Woods. It was this balance, her food and his drinks, that made them look like the perfect team on screen. Still, not everyone was convinced. Audiences who attended live tapings of The Rachael Ray Show often left negative reviews, describing Rachael as moody and detached when cameras weren't rolling. Some even claimed they felt sorry for her staff, suggesting she resented the grind of daytime TV. To many, the contrast between her cheerful on-screen persona and the unhappy energy behind the scenes mirrored the contradictions in her marriage. They looked like partners, yet their arguments were legendary, their public defenses against tabloid attacks relentless. And through it all, John stayed put. Husband, lawyer, bartender, musician, and lightning rod for rumors. As their relationship continued into its second decade, new challenges arrived, from family tragedies to devastating losses at home. Once again, their marriage was put to the test in ways that no one could have predicted: family tragedies and personal setbacks. Rachael Ray's life has not been free of heartbreak. In 2013, tragedy struck when her Aunt Geraldine died just outside Rachael's house after being accidentally locked out in freezing weather. Some family members blamed Rachael for negligence, even claiming her aunt wasn't given a house key. Tensions escalated further when Rachael missed the funeral due to work, deepening the rift within her family. Her brother defended her, but the wounds never fully healed. Personal misfortunes also haunted her. In the 1990s, she was mugged twice in a single week in New York. In 2020, her cherished Adirondack home burned down in a fire, forcing her to rebuild from scratch. A year later, Hurricane Ida severely damaged the renovated property. Health scares added to the burden, Her raspy voice, shaped by childhood throat problems, fueled rumors of cancer in 2008 when she had surgery to remove a benign cyst. Through all this, John Cusimano remained at her side. While tabloids speculated about cheating, he was also her partner in rebuilding homes, managing lawsuits over her Nutrish pet food brand, and navigating setbacks that could have crushed anyone else. Their bond was complicated, fiery, and often questioned, but in moments of tragedy, they endured together. Recent years and life in Tuscany. Nearly 2 decades after their wedding in Tuscany, Rachael Ray and John Cusimano continued to divide public opinion. In 2023, Rachael ended her long-running daytime talk show after 17 seasons, shifting focus to her production company Free Food Studios. She also launched her podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, where she candidly admitted that her marriage is filled with arguments, but insisted that this fiery energy keeps their bond alive. Despite old rumors, their relationship still shows signs of devotion. In August 2024, John posted a birthday tribute calling Rachael his forever love and forever home. Days earlier, she had celebrated his 58th birthday with heartfelt words and photos with their rescue dog Bella. They now split their time between their home in the Adirondacks and their beloved Italy, where John still plays music and Rachael continues to expand her brand. Their marriage has survived gossip, backlash, family disputes, and personal tragedies. For some, it's proof of resilience. For others, it's a reminder that even the brightest public figures carry shadows in private. What do you think? Have Rachael and John proven their love stronger than the rumors, or do you believe the doubts will always remain? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more untold truths about your favorite celebrities.